Should we start from the beginning?
Okay, what is the beginning?
I feel like you went through a lot in your early life.
We're only laughing to bring all of you into our little joke because starting podcasts is so uncomfortable. You either start by like doing this official intro to the person, all their accolades, where they went to school, the kind of MBA they have, and then you just like start asking questions. Or what I started doing is just the minute we sit down, I'm like, tell me your darkest secret.
So I'm going to can I ask you your darkest secret? I'm going to go with, you went through so much in your early life. You immigrated twice. You left Russia with your mom when you were 2, moved to Israel. It's not easy. Then you eventually went to Canada.
Yeah.
What did your mom teach you about resilience?
It was more like modeling rather than teaching. She modeled to me that anything is possible, really. Like there's going to be a lot of shitty periods, but it all works out at the end because I've seen it happen over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of in this phase in my life where I'm so big into, if you can see it, then you believe it. You know what I mean?
Has like the visualization worked in your life in the past? Is that why?
It's just my analytical brain. I feel like my Virgo brain is like, I see here, I can point to it. Like it happens, it's true, you know, rather than this like fluffy, fairy kind of like, even visualization. Yeah. It's a tricky one for me because it took me a long time to learn how to manifest properly. Do you manifest?
I think I've manifested most of my life, but without knowing it.
But that's interesting because for me, I found that manifestation, like I was doing it wrong for a long time because I would ask for things, visualize them.
Yeah.
But what I didn't do is I didn't check with myself if I am ready to receive it. So you can ask for things, but if you don't believe you deserve it, they ain't coming for you.
Right. If you're not living at the place where you're making decisions like that person that you want to become, and the
like
one on your
open,
vision
you
board.
know, like your hands are open. You're like, okay, I'm asking for it. Like, come, I'm ready. I wasn't ready for a lot of the things I was manifesting.
But sometimes I think that's the power because like if you wait until you're ready, no one's ever ready. Like it doesn't happen. You have to almost have that urgency.
Right.
And then maybe it doesn't happen for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, but like, I don't know. There's something about me that likes the rushing to get somewhere. And I think eventually I do.
So what is something you manifested that felt like so far away that happened to you?
I definitely manifested a job at E. I manifested Hello Sunshine. I knew that was going to be the next place.
How did you, like, walk me through it? What does that manifestation process look like?
It's a good question. I get these feelings and I just know that it feels right. And so I was like, I loved what Reese Witherspoon was creating and the rest of the team at Hello Sunshine. And a lot of my career has been female focused. And I was like, I want to work at a female media company. And I align with so many of these values. But Hello Sunshine was a film and TV company.
Right.
Like, I'm not an actress. I was not going to be in film and TV. And so I sat with it for a little while. And eventually I put a deck together. I love to read. So I put a deck together and pitched them a show about books. And they'd never created anything like it. They were super sweet and like listened to my whole pitch, the whole C-suite. I felt like I was in Shark Tank. I was so nervous. I'd never pitched a show.
Pitching it. Oh my God.
It was during COVID. And so I was like, it was virtual. And my mom was in LA that weekend and she was on the couch, like sweating, nervous for me because I was like in the Shark Tank. And nothing ever happened with the show.
Oh, wow.
But about a year and a half later, they said, one of the executives emailed me and said, you know, we're thinking of starting a podcast. Will you meet with our podcast exec? And then 6 months later, I was launching their first podcast.
That's crazy.
And I think like when you have those, I mean, Oprah calls them whispers, but when you have them, like, I think you owe it to the universe to follow that.
100%. But you also knew that you can deliver. Like you pitched something that you knew that you can truly do and do it really well.
That's a really good point, Valeria.
Thank you. But this
I
is
think I just got schooled.
but this is what I'm saying is like, no, it took me a while
Yeah.
to kind of like process it and be like, what am I doing wrong
What's one that comes to your mind
that I did wrong?
or that you did right that came true? Like, did you manifest your career?
Well, if I think about little Valeria,
Yeah.
100% I manifested it. Like, I think from the age of, and I don't actually know if anyone knows this, but from the age of, I would say 15 to around 19, I was sitting and I was like, I'm going to be a political journalist. Like, that was.
Wait, what?
I know. Like, where did it come from? What inspired it? I have no idea. I always loved to write. And I used to have a lot of blogs growing up, anonymous blogs, but very anonymous. Yeah. So no one can, no tracks.
Valeria was Gossip Girl, guys.
I was XOXO. But I was just like, I'm going to be a political journalist. And I really knew that I somehow will find myself in journalism one way or another, or like writing.
Yeah.
But didn't even know, especially since I started moving and immigrating to different countries, like how would it even look like? I don't speak proper English. I don't have the grammar. Like, I don't know how to write something, because I was thinking about it when I was still living in Israel. And I'm like, okay, I can do it here. But yeah, and now here I am in one way or another doing journalism.
Yeah.
While twirling with dresses.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I manifested this.
You did. And you manifested your version of it, the version that fits you.
Right. So, but back then I don't think I had as many I didn't know as much as I know now, or like before when I was in my 20s, like as you get older, we just know too much, and then it creates, everything becomes like harder to do. You see more challenges than opportunities.
Yeah.
But back then at 15, I was like, yeah, be a political journalist, obviously.
I think a lot of us know what we want to do when we're like 6 years old, and then the world sort of gets to us. But if you think back at like who you were and what you were doing book reports on and what you were interested in, like, were there any through lines for you?
I was always a big reader. And I always loved storytelling.
Yeah,
definitely. So that was always something that was part of my life, but also like playing roles. And I shared with you how one of my childhood friends reminded me the other day. She's like, do you remember when I asked you what you want to be at when you were like 9 or 10 years old?
Yeah.
And my answer was like, oh my God, I have so many options. Like, I can be a dancer or a writer or a lawyer. And that is so magical, because I agree with you. It's this, all the possibility that you see when you're at those ages. It's like we need to, in a way, write it down.
Yeah.
So we can go back to that.
But to me, you have this, you do many things, but there's this through line of like authenticity. And I know that word is so overused online, but it is what I have like a high BS meter, I would call it. Do you?
100%.
And so I don't have
So
that with you. Like, I'm like, you are this person, online, offline. I know you're not showing your whole life online, but you're the same person on and offline. Like, there's not a separation.
I curse more in real life.
Me too, actually. I don't do it on the podcast usually. But I'm curious if you, like, when you started out creating content, if you felt that sort of pressure to show up as a different person and act, and if this is the authenticity is something you grew into, or if you've always been this.
I think that throughout my life, I played so many roles. Like, I was trying to be so many different things in order for other people to approve of me, or I don't know what it was. Maybe feel like valuable. I don't know. But I remember it in relationships. I remember it in friendships. I remember it at work. And it's interesting, even with my line of work, like, I was modeling from the age of 15 to around 22 or so. And you show up on set, you're a blank canvas, and you're like, okay, here's the role you're playing today, and here's the role you're playing today. So I got so used to putting all these masks that with social media, it was interesting because it started as like, okay, I'm gonna be, I guess, something close to what I think I am, but like, I don't know what it is yet. But that's, I think, what really made me excited about it, because it was my vehicle to really find out, who am I? Because I'm at this age where I already had 2 kids when I started social media, and I'm like, I can't continue playing roles because now there are no roles that are giving to me to play, and I gotta like figure this out. So social media was very much of like a place of what is authenticity? How do I show up as myself?
Whoa.
But it was a little, journey to figure it out, because at first it was like timid me, and then it was, and even watching videos now from like 2018, 2019. Oh my god, I just want to hug her. She's
Really?
like so quiet and like very uncertain, which is exactly where I was. And it's beautiful to see obviously the evolution, but you can see like, okay, she's searching for herself.
When did it click though?
This year.
Really?
I mean, click.
No, it must have clicked earlier because the videos wouldn't have caught on.
But I think that a lot of like my audience grew with me, so a lot
That's
of them
cool.
saw themselves in me, and I think that authenticity was because you can tell that I'm still trying to figure it out, and I'm talking about me trying to figure it out, so it connected with other people. So it's like that authenticity was not from a place of like, this is who I am. It's like, I don't know who I am, but I'm trying.
Do you ever have shame hangovers though when you share a lot?
Yeah, especially with the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you?
On social media, every time I post something even slightly personal, for 3 days I want to crawl in a hole. Like, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'll call all of my friends, my mother, like, was that embarrassing? Was that bad? Like, should I take it down? Was it too much?
Why? Why?
I don't know. I really like when the story is about somebody else. Like, I'm a trained journalist. It's not about me. And so as soon as it's about me, I want to crawl into my own skin.
Which is funny because I feel like with social media, it has to be about you in order to connect with other people.
The only videos that people have like really shared or come up to me and said something about are the videos where I'm real and I'm honest and I'm sharing about myself. But I'm so nervous all the time to do that.
I know. But what are you nervous from being like, what, judgment?
Yeah. Judgment. And I've always, I think one of my childhood wounds is I've always wanted to be taken seriously. And I felt like my teachers didn't take me seriously. Like, I had a big chest and I felt like people at work didn't take me seriously because I had big boobs.
Oh,
and
no.
So I'm
was there like a
scared to share
saying
too much.
around, I don't know, I remember for me at school, especially something that's always been triggering me and haunting me, honestly. All the teachers used to say, she has so much potential. Like, the potential is there, but she's just like not.
Were you not giving it
doing
your
anything.
all?
No, obviously not. No, there was a lot of truth in what they were saying, but it became this like haunting phrase. She has so much potential. And maybe that's why I'm doing so much, because I'm like, there's so much potential. I gotta make sure I get it all done,
Do you feel like you're always chasing that?
Yeah. I have a debilitating fear of not like using every single gift or a bit, like anything that was given to me. If I'm not using it, I'm like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe because also life is so short and you're like, there's so much to learn and so much to find out about myself. Like, it's a lot.
If I could armchair therapy you for a second, my guess
I love that.
is you in some ways grew up quickly because of your upbringing. And so you understood consequences or death or grief or hard things in life more so than maybe other people your age. And then moving a lot is like traumatic in itself when you're a teenager or a young person. And I feel like you understand time that it could end. Like, you understand
any second.
Yeah.
But I also think growing up in a country like Israel where tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
I think that's in general the way people live. And I've always walked around with that. There were so many moments where I was like, this could be it, going on a bus, like, could be it. Someone can blow up. Like, I grew up with that feeling. So I think that shaped a lot of that. And it's both obviously a blessing and a curse. But yeah, I also just like, and I don't know, maybe it's also the effects of social media, but I also think to myself, I'm never going to be this young again. you know, and to
It's
not, you know, there's this quote that I read, like, to not dance when you had the ability and opportunity to. Like, oh my God.
I think about that. I think about that with like dating and love that
How?
I think call into my life, because I'm like, if I do something like I go for a weekend with a guy to St. Bart's, it's like, is it reckless? Maybe I should have been working. I don't know, but like, I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna get to do this again and feel like this like love and lust and like
Absolutely.
dance and drink and like have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're making the right decision. Always go to St. Bart's. If you're ever,
I've never been to St. Bart's.
Well, we're manifesting it right now.
Yeah.
You will be in St. Bart's soon. But yeah, for me, that's kind of like, that's a phrase that's haunting me though from my childhood. Do you have one from school or teachers that just in some way or another, or even maybe for you right now, it's this like aha moment, like, oh my God, it's been in the back of my mind all these years.
It's the not being taken seriously, but I actually had like such a weird moment because I interviewed somebody recently who felt it in me, and after the interview they said like you can calm down, like you did it. And I was like, ah! I hated it. I felt so naked, but I think they were right. I'm constantly chasing something.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Have you ever had a stranger just like read you to filth? Just like see it?
Yeah. I made sure I'll never see them again.
It's like, it's a whoa moment. They hold a mirror up.
So humbling.
It was really humbling. I appreciated it though. Do you feel like Gary's a mirror for you?
Oh my God. Yeah. Definitely. A mirror that sometimes I want to break because I'm like, enough with the mirroring.
Yeah.
But that's like a big blessing for me, because from the minute we met, he was like, your life is going to be your art. This is before I got on social media or did anything at all.
He said your life is going to be your
Literally,
art?
one of the first dates that we had, when we talked about like things that I want to do, he was very he was like, your life will be your art. And now looking back, it's something that I remembered literally a couple of years ago. And I sat him down. I'm like, do you remember when you said that? And he's like, yeah. It's like, do you understand what we've built? It's literally our art and our business is my life. Like, that's insane. So, but he, from the get-go, was so vocal about like, there's so much potential and I won't let you waste it. So
it's beautiful.
The ability to have somebody that is so close to you, that you trust, that is always like shaking you and being like, hey, you're cutting corners, or I know that you can do more. It's really powerful for someone like me, because to me, that's what I need. Some other people can look at it and be like, this is too much. This is demanding, or this is, but for me, that's the kind of love I wanted.
Here's something I've always wondered with you guys. Because your life and your art and your work is Valeria's life, how do you maintain a mutual two-sided relationship? How do you make sure that things are about Gary too? Or does he not require a lot?
That's a great question. And I think that's something that I'm trying to find like a balance with. He doesn't require a lot, but I also know that I can do better. You know what I mean? I'm naturally a selfish person.
You keep saying that, but I actually don't think that you are.
No, but to me, it's like, it's a good thing. It's like a medal.
Okay.
Like for me, when I hear a woman says that she's selfish, I applaud that, because it's so not something women feel comfortable saying.
But I don't think you make decisions, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you make decisions just based on you. Like, you think about Gary, you think about your kids, you think about your mom.
Of course, yes. But a lot of the times I noticed in my life that when I operate from a place of like, what will make me feel good, it benefits everyone else. Like, everyone at the end are happy. You know what I mean? It's the weirdest thing, because I've experimented with that. Because for a long time I felt bad about it. I'm like, why am I choosing? Because I went to the other direction than what I saw my mom was operating. She was selfless. There was no her in the equation. Everyone else came first. And I hated that.
Yeah.
So I went to a whole other side. And then I was like, is this a little bit wrong? But I have found that throughout my motherhood journey, because we're naturally nurturers, it's like it really benefited myself, but also my family. That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
But I really want to go back to this armor you're wearing.
Can you feel it on me?
When it comes to all these, yeah.
Listen,
you're very good at what you do.
Thanks.
And I asked you prior to it. I mean, you always knew that you want to be in journalism. You said you wanted to be Barbara Walters. You were asking all the questions.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that your goal was always to like be taken seriously. Is that also what made you learn, like ask questions?
Whoa. Armchair therapist.
You know, if we're playing ball.
That's pretty good. I've never thought about that. Maybe that's part of it for sure. I think, I think two things did. One, I grew up in a very conversational family, and I feel like lucky for that. I would go to friends' houses for dinner sometimes, and like the dinner table would be sort of quiet. And I'd be like, so, like my dinner table was loud. Everyone always had something to say. We were debating topics. Like I remember I had Sunday night dinners with my grandparents always. And I would sit next to my grandfather. And at 7 years old, he would be like, so what do you think about President Bush? Like I wanted to be able to have an answer because I respected him so much. And so I think I'm grateful that they instilled that in me. I think when you ask kids questions, it gives them confidence.
Yeah.
And then I learned when I got older, because I was naturally curious and asking questions, but something happened to me that really changed my perspective. I got a dream job that ended up not being a dream job, and I quit. And I was depressed because I loved what I did so much. I just didn't like doing it there.
I need context. What was the dream job? How old were you?
I was 24, 25, maybe 25. It was at an entertainment outlet. And I was like one of the youngest people they had hired. And it was like a big moment.
Like huge validation to what you wanted to be.
Exactly. And I felt like this is why I moved to LA, and this was worth the sacrifice. And when I would break out into hives, I would like cry in the bathroom at lunch. I just hated it. And my mom said to me, she's pretty blunt, and she was like, just quit. And I was like, I have no money. I can't quit. And she was like, if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, wouldn't you be so pissed that you were in that dingy office in Burbank? Like, just quit. You'll figure it out. And I was like, you're right. So I quit, and I decided to take myself to grad school because I had all this time. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch hundreds of hours of interviewers that are doing it best. Like Larry King and Robin Roberts and Bob Costas and Charlie Rose, like all the greats. And I would take notes, and I'd write down questions they asked and how they moved their hands and how they transitioned and how they made people cry. And I had a list of like 1,000 questions. And I looked at that list one day, and this was pre-therapy. And I realized...
I love how you preface pre-therapy.
Well, it is, because it's like what is it? Pre-therapy, PSA, pre-self-actualization. Yeah, okay. PSA. And I looked at that list of questions, and I was like, I ask people questions for a living. I think about questions all day, and I've never asked myself one. Not one. I never like went to bed thinking, how do I become... Like I just didn't ask myself any questions.
Wow.
And so I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll try, and I'll do 5 a day. And I asked myself like 5 questions a day. And after months, I got through the list, and I was a different person. Like I was walking through the world more confident in myself because I knew myself better. I had more to say, more to share, but also asking great questions is literally about practice. And I know no one wants to hear that because everything in life is about practice, but that's all it is. And I was like, people were like magnets to me. Strangers, when I would ask questions, like they were drawn to me. Even my own parents who know me better than anyone else, like I would ask them questions more, and I felt like they wanted to call me more and like we were having better conversations. And I was like, oh, this is a superpower. Like everyone can tap into this, you know, like I'm not going to play in the WNBA. I'm 5'1". Like that's not my superpower, but like everyone can ask great questions. And I was like, oh, this is a thing.
So you didn't realize that it was a superpower until then?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you were already on the path. I mean, you were interviewing, you were doing all the things. How do you think you did it differently before you did this exercise? Like,
That's
where did it come
beautiful
from?
question. I saw people. Before I was just asking questions out of curiosity. I wasn't feeling who they were or seeing them. And because I'd asked myself questions, I started to feel different emotions, and I realized I could recognize them in other people. So I really understood. I grew up. I understood people more. I always say, like, the people that have been through the most have the most to give. And it's not to like valorize hardship in any way, but I do think that people that have been through so much feel such a broad range of things that they can connect to others in a different way. And I hadn't had hard things happen yet. I had it later. But the asking questions was the starting point of seeing people.
That's so powerful. You know, and not until I started doing the podcast did I started to get curious about the art of conversation.
Wow. I
Because
love that.
you never really think about it. You don't think about practicing it. You're just like, this is it. Like, whatever
It should
comes,
just happen.
right. And I remember when I picked up this book, How to Know a Person.
Yeah.
Who's the author?
David Brooks.
Yes. When he broke down the whole concept of really having a conversation and seeing people and asking questions, it was like all of a sudden the podcast and these conversations became like a whole new world to me. It was like so exciting. There were so many elements within it.
That's so cool that you felt that.
So cool.
It's like a dance, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But I didn't realize how many of them I did wrong before I read that book. I was like, shit.
There's no
So
wrong,
many
I don't think.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I started the podcast, what hit me the most was that I thought that I was a really good listener.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I was listening to answer and to participate. Also because, you know, to show that I'm like, I know what I'm talking about and I'm really smart and, you know, we're on the same level.
Right.
And I didn't want to have any moments where I'm just taking a breath or I'm thinking about something. Like, that really scared me.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think I looked at conversations as like it's just this, we're playing ball. And anything that wasn't as fast and like something is wrong, something is broken.
Yeah.
So the podcast really taught me the art of like active listening.
Do you feel like you're having different types of conversations in your own life now? Like, because you've practiced it in this way?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because I know now what kind of conversation can be held, but no, because I choose not to have them because it's very draining. Is it not draining for you to like have these big conversations all the time?
It is so draining for me to be at a party. I
Really?
don't like crowds. I was so tired before I got here because I was up at 5, and this will fill me up. Like, I'll be able to go work the rest of the night because I love this. Yeah.
But with a lot of people, it's just
Drained.
What do you do? How do you small talk?
Before we started recording, Valeria asked me about a dinner that I had thrown for the card game shock collars that I created. And I was telling her that one of my goals was to be able to throw dinners or small intimate gatherings because when I moved to LA, I didn't know a single person and I didn't have any money. And so like part of that, like, you can't go anywhere when you don't have any money.
Right.
And so I felt like I was missing out by not being in the room. No one ever invited me anywhere. And I always felt like I had to like claw my way in. And now that I'm invited into some rooms, it sounds corny, but like I always think to myself, who's not here that like
should be here.
That should be who could like gain something from this experience and add value to the room. And like, there's so many amazing people who didn't get the invite, you know?
You just like make a mental note of like,
yeah. Like I always want to, I have a thing from growing up. I don't like when anyone is left out. And so I just want to create rooms where women in particular can meet each other and do business. Because I think that's like what happens with men. They just do it at dinners or at golf courses or whatever. But like, I think sometimes people look at women's activities as silly. And it's like, you know, when you go to a lunch, it could look like you're going there for an Instagram photo or just to be seen. But a lot is happening at that lunch.
Yeah.
Like you're meeting new people, you're talking business, you're learning tips from other women that are doing what you're doing. Like there's, I think
It's
a lot
actually very,
happens.
very powerful. You're so right. I think we're minimizing a lot of the what's happening in those circles, in those environments.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, have you had, like, aside from friendships, which is really powerful in itself, like, have you ever had business opportunities come from those things?
100%. But you know what? Aside from business opportunities, it's just so maybe now because I can see people and I can have conversations, like real conversations.
Yeah.
I learned so much from just the way people talk about their lives and their work, and you pick up so many things.
Yeah.
Because now you know how to pick it up.
Well, do people must ask you all the time about how you're doing what you do?
Yes, all the time.
Because you've created something that I'm not sure any other influencer has.
Thank you.
It's a machine, and I say that with so much respect.
Thank you. I love machines. Yeah, no, I do get asked that all the time. That's so interesting that you're saying it. I find that people ask me that question.
Yeah.
And then they say, it must be so tiring. You must be like so busy. And for the longest time, it just hit me this week. For the longest time, I was like, yeah, it's a lot, with the kids and this. Like, it was like an autopilot. I don't know what it is. And then this week, I caught myself. I was about to say, like, yeah, it's been so busy. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like, yes, I work hard, but I rest hard. Like, I know how to rest, Like, I don't want to be remembered as like a stressed woman or a tired woman or, someone who's always in a rush. Like, I don't want to be remembered like that. And it's also not me. So this is another, like, you speak of authenticity. I feel like throughout life, if you pay attention and you're like connected to yourself, you kind of start seeing it's like, oh, that's not really in line with how I really feel or who I am. It's just something that I just got so used to or hearing or like saying. And you kind of like signaling, someone signaling to you and then you're signaling it back.
Yeah.
But it's not the truth. So I'm like, I'm going to be that annoying person that next time someone's like, oh, how are you? You must be so busy. Be like, no, I'm like living my purpose, my life, doing the best. Like,
they're going to be so mad at you.
That's going to be the end of the conversation. Because I feel like people need to connect on that,
Right.
Especially women.
Do you take advice from people well?
Well, I've made a decision that I don't want to hear people's opinion, but that's a decision I made earlier this year. Before that, I would get everybody's opinion on different things.
Okay.
And
give me an example.
Just like let's say with a project that I'm doing. It's something that, let's say, I'm working on, or the podcast when I was working on it, I would ask so many different people, and even people that didn't necessarily, like, they don't know, they're not doing it themselves. How would they be able to advise me? Or friends that I love dearly, and they know me in a certain capacity, but not in that type of capacity.
Right.
So I was just like looking for validation or some kind of, I don't know what. I just wasn't connecting with my own intuition, which I always know what I need to do. What about you?
I used to do that too. I have to credit therapy for getting me out of that. I know.
No, I'm doing this because I haven't done therapy yet.
What?
I know.
But you know so many things. How do you know it without therapy?
I have this cheat sheet.
It's because you've been through a lot. You've lived a lot of life.
But I also left home so early. Like, I had so much time with myself that I've learned so much about myself.
You asked yourself questions.
Yes. And it's for the longest time, whenever I was like, maybe it's time for therapy, intuitively, I'm like, no, I have all the tools that I need in order to understand how to navigate it. And until recently, I'm like, I think it's time to get therapy.
Why?
Because I think that I've reached a certain point where I know, like, I can't get myself any further. Like, now I need an outsider.
Cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. So now I'm going to be speed dating therapists.
That's what you have to do to find, because you have to really like your therapist. Like, you can't like dread talking to them.
Yeah, I've been working I've been kind of testing it out with ChatGPT. Like even the way I'm, because we started talking, I'm just like, I don't need you to validate me. I need you to be honest. And, just to like, how do I ask the therapist to do therapy without like the cliche
Like
way?
placating you.
Yeah.
There are therapists that tell you the truth.
Where do I find them?
You may need like not well, first of all, there could be, I do something called Gestalt therapy. Gestalt. And so there's like
Sounds
CBT,
Yiddish.
like cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
That I think is when you like go back in time a little bit more, you dissect your behavior via childhood. Gestalt, it means like you're always in relationship to something. Like you're in relationship to the tree. You're always in relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's very much talk therapy, which works for me. But you may need like a half life coach, half therapist.
I definitely don't want a life coach. But again, you see, I have preconceived notions. It's not even fair what I'm doing right now because
like
I don't know.
Like an executive coach.
A high performance type thing. No, So I had this incident. I had my first ever panic attack last year. I never experienced it before. And I tried hypnotherapy. And I really liked it. And I think that the kind of therapy that I need, because I'm somebody that it's very easy for me to use my head and like intellectualize everything. Like I can ask questions, and maybe that's where I've been able to get to where I am.
Yeah.
Because I know how to dive deep and ask the questions. But what I need now is something that will move me away from here, because I can rationalize anything and everything.
Yeah.
So
are you intellectualizing your feelings?
I intellectualize everything.
Yeah, but that means you're not actually feeling the feelings.
No shit.
Yeah.
I know.
So you do need a therapist.
Right. But I wonder if it's more of like a somatic, like an experience that's more like body focused rather than here.
That's cool. Somatic therapist could be really cool.
I know.
I love that for you.
So much to do. I have a list of things that I have to accomplish in the next week. Find a therapist.
Okay.
Feel feelings.
You'll do that. We have to delay that one.
I have a question. So how long have you been doing therapy for?
On and off for like 6 years.
So what made you decide to go to therapy?
So I was dating somebody who was very different than me. I'm Jewish. He was Muslim. He was Persian. And I really loved him. But we had a lot of fundamental differences. And so about a year in, maybe even less, which is crazy, we were like, let's go to therapy and see if we can talk some of these out. And we went twice. And he was like, I'm done with this.
Oh, wow.
We ended up breaking up. But I loved it. And I think the therapist at the couples therapist recognized that I was not being my full self in that relationship. My voice was squandered, which is my fault, And so I continued on with her. And the coolest part for me was that it almost had nothing to do with my personal life at that point, because I care so much about my career. I used to feel frustrated at work. I'd feel frustrated by conflict, by emails, like annoying emails people would send me. I didn't know how to reply, and this is obviously pre-chat GPT, or I would get into a situation with my boss where I had to communicate something really difficult and stand up for myself, and I wasn't used to it. And therapy helped give me the tools to be able to navigate all of it. And I didn't have any stress anymore. I was like, oh yeah, I can handle this. I know how to use my words. I know what to say. I know what makes me feel good. And then it started trickling into my personal life, and my relationship with my parents got better. My mom in particular, I think everything got better. And then I started attracting different men too, which was great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In what way? How did this new man look like?
I think I required somebody who was willing to have hard conversations with me, because there was no way I couldn't have them anymore. I think once you go deep, you can't sit at the surface any longer.
Right.
Do you feel that?
No, of course.
Right. Because you seem like you had that with Gary early on.
I had it early on. Yes. I was also so young.
Right.
So I don't know if I required those kind of conversations. I was definitely we're definitely talking about a lot of things, but it's just I think with the years, I mean, we've been together for 12 years. With the years, like we kind of reached new depths, but it's because I also changed and I wanted to have different kind of conversation. But initially, it's like the feeling that my partner can have those and create a space to have those. I think that's definitely something that was important that I like saw right away.
I've always wanted to create a card deck of questions to ask someone before you get married.
I was literally about to tell you that you should have a deck. First of all, it should be like the first, I don't know, 10 dates or something. A deck for the first 10 dates. Yeah. Brilliant. And then a deck before getting married.
Because like, here's a question we never ask, because it's weird to ask, but what do you envision your retirement to look like? What your third act? Because people have very different ideas. And what if one of you wants to be picketing on like the hill in Washington, D.C., and the other one wants to be on an island fishing barefoot? Like, you should know that about each other.
100%. You know what's another good question I heard that people ask on like the first date?
Yeah.
If you won like $10 million today, what would you do with that money? Because it also shows you like what that person values.
Interesting. What would you say?
What would I say? Shaking my ass on a boat in Central? No, I don't know. What I would say? Oh, I don't know. I can't imagine. I feel like on a first date it's different than
what
now
would you
with
say
like
now?
a family. Now?
Yeah, I'm so curious.
Nothing actually.
You would just
like
put it in the bank, invest it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to upgrade anything. We have great life. I don't need any more than what I have.
Yeah, it's good.
What would you do with $10 million?
You're going to be like, you're so annoying. I can't even tell you.
No, if you're going to be like, I'm going to build an orphanage and no, my God, I can't with you for real.
Not an orphanage.
No, I mean, I love that for you.
Yeah. No, I have this crazy dream that I hope I get married one day. And I have a dream that my wedding is a service trip. Like, I want...
Wait, I actually love that.
Because I think weddings, no offense to anybody who wants a big wedding, because that's great for you. But for me, I've never like dreamed of this big moment. It kind of makes me uncomfortable.
You don't want all the fireworks.
No.
And like, oh my God.
No. I feel like a lot of things in my life are about me. Like, I don't need that moment.
Amen. Yeah.
And so I'm like, what a cool opportunity to get all the people you love together to do this like amazing experience. Like, Habitat for Humanity. Like, you all build a house somewhere and then you get married at the end of it, and it's like, this is what your love did.
But babe, how long is this wedding?
Also, you can't like invite people to come work. It's not nice.
I'm sure there's a law against it or something.
And my older relatives are like, I can't come.
Like, what is this? She's doing it on purpose. She doesn't want us there.
Yeah.
Don't you love this whole like, I love that for you? That's my favorite thing these days. I love that.
So a friend of mine is a comedian, and some guy DM'd me the other day and he was like, so proud of you. Okay. And I was like, that's so nice. Thank you. And my friend who's a comedian was like, that's a line. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, that's a really good line a guy uses. And I go, well, what is the female equivalent? And he goes, I love that for you. I was like, okay, I guess. I thought it was a nice line.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to know how you're navigating dating, because you're so smart.
Thanks.
I feel like it's hard to do when you're so smart.
I think you're giving me way too much credit.
No, but like, first of all, you know how to converse and you ask questions and you're like, okay, now I need depth. Yeah. And you make money. Like, you don't need anyone or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how you date in this kind of, with these conditions.
Under these conditions. That's hilarious. To be fair, I don't go out on a lot of dates, but I actually have met I feel lucky. Like, I've met really interesting people, like smart, ambitious, emotionally in tune, curious. I just haven't met the one for me.
Right.
You know, like how there could be like a great guy, he's just not your guy.
But do you ever question yourself being like,
every day? What if I'm missing what's right in front of me?
Right.
Because I'm messed up.
Right. Or maybe you're looking into even like too deeply into certain things that maybe not as important in the long run.
Well, you've been married for 12
No,
years
I don't
and
know.
you
I'm
seem
gonna
like
mess
you have
it up for you.
no, you really seem like you have a beautiful relationship. So like, what did you think was important that isn't, or vice versa? Like maybe what
I
am
can't
I
answer that question because I wasn't out there in the wild. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like, especially these days.
Have you ever been like, what would it be like to be out in the wild? Like, do you ever have pings of like,
No, I would 100% die alone. I would be, you know what's my favorite person to reference? Jane Fonda. Have you seen the documentary?
The best.
Okay, so I absolutely love, because that's what I got out of that documentary. I absolutely love how she lived a different version of herself with every relationship and man that she was with.
Yeah.
And then in her 70s, she's like, I'm done. And now I'm going to do what I want to do, which is just hang out with my girlfriends and not have a man.
And be the fullest version of me.
And be the fullest version of me, yeah. Without thinking or taking care of anyone else.
Yeah, I know. So part of me thinks that that's awesome and I love that for her.
We're proud of her.
I'm proud of her for that, truly, because that was her life's journey, like, you know, from her childhood. But there was this great story my therapist actually told me years ago about this woman who was in New York, got divorced, and decided to kind of eat, pray, love, but in her own way. She went to India, went to an ashram. She was supposed to stay for 3 weeks, and she ended up staying for 10 years.
10 years.
She didn't have kids, and she just like loved her life in this ashram, and she was learning and growing and evolving. And she went to, I don't know what it's called, like the Buddha master, whoever like the guy was, one day, and she said, I think I'm ready to leave. And he said, I've been waiting for you to say this. How did you come to this decision? And she said, I think I've done enough healing on my own in order to get to the next level. I need another person. I need the relationship to be the mirror. And I have to say, aside from therapy, my greatest growth has come from being in romantic partnership, because when you love someone so much, you're willing to show up and like be the worst of you.
And let someone see you.
Yes. And work things through because you care about the relationship.
Yeah.
So maybe she had done enough of that, but I think I still crave that. No, really, maybe. But
Jane Fonda, if you're listening to you should go seek therapy.
No, I cannot tell. When anybody says like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, Jane Fonda.
Absolutely.
Like,
no, don't get me wrong. She has it figured out.
Yeah.
We're just
kidding.
Dissecting certain things.
We're joking.